Hey, this is Ron Miller from TechCrunch, and I'm backstage with John Kelly from IBM, who is in charge of the incredibly impressive Watson technology. So when we were talking before, you told me that there was a point where Watson was kind of a no-go or a go, and it made that leap. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So it was, we started the project around 2007, and it was around 2010, early on, that I had to make a decision: were we going to put Watson on national television on Jeopardy?
Right.
And at that,
no pressure or anything.
No pressure. At that time, Ron, I'll tell you a little secret. It was taking Watson about a half hour to answer one question.
Whoa.
About half the time. But the rate of progress from our team was off the charts good. And so we decided to go for it. We signed a contract, and of course, history shows that we went on to win the match.
So, you know, when I think about Watson, I think of it as a brand, a product, a platform. Do you guys see it as all those three things, or how are you trying to position this?
Yeah, it's really a platform and an ecosystem. You know, the brand has just taken on a life of its own because of the importance of artificial intelligence and cognitive computing. So the brand is known worldwide as the leader in that area. But we made a very strategic decision early on to open it up as a platform, move it to the cloud, out of a box in our lab, onto the cloud, open up the APIs, open up the services, and let people innovate on it.
Yep. So, I was at Dreamforce last week, and there was a lot of talk about data and being overwhelmed by data. I remember overhearing one conversation, there's this universe of data now, how am I supposed to make sense of it? And people are asking me to ask questions. I don't know what questions to ask.
That's right.
So how do you take something like Watson and productize it so that it can do the types of things that business people need to do and not have that kind of explicit interaction with the system?
Yeah, that's a great question. In fact, another sort of secret is we didn't set out to build an artificial intelligence machine. We set out to build a system that could deal with huge amounts of unstructured data. So we've now productized and created services around different offerings. So as an example, there's a Watson Explorer for people who are looking at discovering new drugs. So it crawls through the data, it looks at what's known and looks at what's not known, and says, oh, go look here for a new molecule or a new drug that might cure this particular cancer. In the financial sector, we have a financial advisor. So it works with a human financial advisor to help inform the advisor and the client. So any place there's massive amounts of data, highly unstructured, and it's not a yes or a no or a right or wrong answer, different shades of gray, that's perfect for Watson.
So one last question. You talked about the three eras of computing, and you said that Watson was the third era, the introduction of the third era. Could you talk a little bit about those eras and how Watson fits into that third era?
Sure. So the first era was, early 1900s through about 1940, which was tabulators and calculators, and that's what they were called at that time. They were mechanical, vacuum tubes, etc. And then in the late 40s, early 50s, we, through IBM and our System 360, invented programming to basically tell the computer what to do. So we took human tasks, and through programming, we made the computer do if, when, move this data, etc. And every computer today is still programmable except for Watson. Watson learns on data. We don't reprogram it. We give it more data, better data. We write some new machine learning algorithms, and we turn it loose on the data. So in a sense, we're entering a brand new third era of computing, which the last couple of eras lasted 50 or 60 years. So we're in for a long run here, Ron.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Like I said, it's fascinating tech.
Thank you.
All right.